Hello once again, it's Wolf Johnson back with another reaction video. Today we're looking at Ren's Money Game Part 2. Okay. It's interesting mixing.
Strange time of living in panic and hysteria. Poor man learn, the rich man don't care for your narcissist mindset.
Okay.
Like malaria, sit back and watch the show. America, Britain split through fickle shit. A government of hypocrites. These counterfeit politicians sit in parliament, not adequate. Come on, needlessly bleeding resources all dry. Turn a blind eye if it means a pay rise. Oh, what a shame it would be, I would die if number 10 Downing Street burned in a fire. Only joking, only messing, don't be stressing. I'm a peaceful adolescent, there's no need to be unpleasant. Write my thesis in a rhyme scheme to analyze the brain while my fingers on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 rain.
Woo!
Storm comes our way. And no surprise to distorted lies. Poison in the veins, but we don't.
Give me shivers.
Blame, blame, blame. It's easier to blame. But point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
Oh. That's mixed so interestingly. There's such a good texture. How it's distributed in 3D space here.
Money is a game and the ladder we climb turns a saint into a sinner with his finger in crime. I'll break it down for you motherfuckers line by line. This is business economics in a nursery rhyme. She sells seashells on a seashore, but the value of these shells will fall due to the laws of supply and demand. No one wants to buy shells because there's loads on the sand. Step one, must create a sense of scarcity. Shells will sell much better if the people think they're rare, you see. Bear with me, take as many shells as you can find and hide them on an island. Stockpile them high until they're rarer than a diamond. Step two, gotta make the people think that they want them, really fucking want them. Hit them like Bronson. Influencers, product placement, featured primetime entertainment. If you haven't got a shell, then you're just a fucking waste man. Free, it's monopoly. Invest inside some property. Start a corporation, make a logo, do it properly. Shells must sell, that will be a new philosophy.
This reminds me of KRS-One.
Poor man's quality. 4. Expand, expand, expand. Clear forest, make land, fresh blood on hands. 5. Why just shells? Why limit yourself? She sells seashells, sell oil as well. 6. On sell stock, sell diamonds, sell rock, sell water to a fish, sell the time to a clock. 7. Press on the gas, take your foot off the brakes, then run to be the president of the United States. 8. Big smile, make big wave, that's great. Now the truth is overrated, tell lies out the gate. 9. Polarize the people, controversy is the game. It don't matter if they hate you, if they all say your name. 10. The world is yours. Step out on the stage to a round of applause. You're a liar, cheat, a devil, a whore, and you sell seashells on the seashore. Rain, 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 rain. A storm, it comes our way.
Damn.
And no surprise to distorted lies. Poison in the veins, but we died upon the blame, 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 blame.
This hook is so good.
But point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game. This old money game. This old.
Damn it. You know, when he goes into those falsettos, like for a young man, there's a level of class to that, a level of sophistication in those like very fragile falsettos that kind of dither off the edge of his voice. And it's like watching a young man with a young man from the streets with high sophistication pulling out the good china, pulling out that crystal to pour you, you know, a nice glass of aged red wine. And then he hops down into these like highly intellectual observations of society that completely, if anybody knows me, if my friends were here, they say, this is right up your alley. Like I grew up, little brief story preface, not to take it off of Ren, but I really love this. When I was 13, I was homeless. I didn't have any money. I had a few bucks to get. I had a Discman, and I had like $5. I bought a Rage Against the Machine CD. I bought a Black Flag CD, and I bought a Patti Smith CD. That Rage Against the Machine CD, I played that like all the time, and that was like the birth of my social awareness to things, and the relation that I could see between an artist's responsibility or role, potential role, and what they could interpret about the world within which they live. From there, it went to KRS-One, like Mos Def, Sweatshop Union, like Public Enemy, until with Henry Rollins as well from Black Flag, like Patti Smith. These are all people who have social commentary. So much so that it's led to me as I got older, I started to make political, I guess you call it political. It's more like social and cultural commentary in music. So if you actually go down to my links, you can see my loud poems. There's a few of them that you can listen to. But Ren is on another level. Like this, how he's breaking this down with the seashells by the seashell, almost, it's a tongue twister. How he's breaking that down is like, it's foolproof. Like you got to be an idiot not to get what he's saying. Because oftentimes that kind of dialogue, that kind of discourse, if you listen to it in the news, right? These debates happen in the news or in the mainstream, and it's always people of high intellectual capacity and, roles that are well respected, but they'll be talking to another talking head, and that other talking head will just be diluting it with all these, we'll try to simplify complex things for the layman. And in doing that, you're able to there might be some expert raising some alarms about some things that are happening. Like, there's some corruption here, but they're not talking on the level of the layman. And I say that, I don't mean the layman as a derogatory term. I just mean everyday people who aren't constantly, immersed in this kind of content, who aren't always just paying attention to that things. Like, we have jobs to go to. We've got bills to pay, families to take care of. So we don't all have all the time in the world to know what's going on. And so when you have somebody who knows what's going on, oftentimes they are not communicating on a level that most people that will resonate with them. So they'll go out there, raise these alarms, and then the talking heads on the other side will be like, well, we'll start pointing fingers at other people and simplify it in a way that can incite their rage, which Ren talks about here. Point the blame, point the blame, point the blame. And I'm not saying that, like, as I say this in a political sense, I'm not taking sides with any like political alignment, because I think there's a lot of agendas and that we are not aware about. That being said, I think this kind of music is important because it lets us know as a society that there are people and pathways to talk about things and in a way that will permeate society, and that's to make it sound cool. Like, make it cool. You know what I mean? So I would listen to this you could strip it of all the social context and I would still love it, because like there's so many interesting layers to this. The hook is great. The lyrics are fantastic. The dichotomy between the hook being really melodic and like head voice falsetto-y, and then the rap being more like, I don't even know what kind of rap that would fall into. Sort of like I don't know. It's almost like Eminem type thing. But those layers are interesting. Did I mention the production? The production, if you're listening to these in good headphones, you really can separate, like, down to the degree how much further apart the layers of his vocals are. And it gives it a really interesting space to be in, particularly on that hook part, because you can feel it. It's not just like left and right. It's degrees of left and right, and front and back. So I like what he did there. his like composition, I'm assuming he composed this. You know, his composition, if you take away all the lyrics and the intellectual aspects of this and you just listen to the composition from a musical standpoint, interesting, because it's not overdone. And like I've said in a previous analysis of a Ren video, it's easy for crossover artists, and I'm not saying he's a crossover artist, but he's doing multiple genres. It's easy for crossover artists who go into hip hop particularly to overdo the production as if to compensate. Maybe there's insecurities there. Ren does not do that. There hasn't been one point in any Ren song, where I could identify any element that didn't have a specific purpose or didn't make it better. You know what I mean? Like there was nothing there that felt like it was just put in there for no reason. And a lot of his things are very reductive. So it doesn't have anything more than it needs. I like this. I like this song. Ren's crazy. Ren is absolutely crazy. What is that falsetto voice, that the kind of like that hook? What is that? Because there's something a conclusion I'm coming to about Ren. It's like he is the only artist that I can think of in recent history who has this ability to simultaneously produce something that is like wholly familiar. And what I mean by that is that the influences are discernible. Like I feel like I can tell what the influences are, but simultaneously doing something that feels completely original and new. And that's kind of rare in my opinion, because oftentimes if you're doing something new, like you just off in some new space, doing something that is like completely removed, or if you're laying into your influences, it's like, you're just kind of a ripoff. Ren has this sweet spot here. And in that, I feel like in order to get to that sweet spot, you have to have the utmost integrity as an artist, self-respect, and respect for your influences, respect for those who came before you. But it lends integrity to the art itself, because it means he's only doing exactly what he thinks he should do or what he feels he should do, right? Because if you're just out trying to get popular, and I've seen it multiple times, you just do what everybody else is doing. And sure, that will get you onto a bunch of shows locally, maybe even some festivals, but you're not going to break any ground. And I feel like there's limitations to that. I feel like that's a short-sighted game, because it doesn't last. Because when all those other trends die out, you die out too. But Ren is constantly reinventing himself. Every song is so unique and independent of the rest of his catalog. He has all the same elements that make him Ren, but the way he's distributing those elements in painting, it's truly remarkable. I'm really happy that I've been able to experience this with your help, of course, because of all the guidance and support and context that everyone has been providing. So thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to press like, though this is the first time I've ever asked for that. Like, if you enjoyed this, press like. You know what? Don't. I'm not gonna ask it. I'm never gonna ask for you to subscribe. I'm never gonna ask for you to like. But if you know how to use YouTube by now. You do what you got to do. But thanks for watching. If you sat through this, I appreciate your time. We don't have a lot of it, so any amount that you give to me, I sincerely appreciate it. And as we're Over 1,500 subscribers. That's not a lot. I know people say that's not a lot. To me, that's like a huge thing. So I'll say it again. There's a few people who come through every video and, you know, engage with me and we discuss the music. That means a lot to me because it means that you're willing to let me get to know you and that you're open to get to know me. You know, is that a weird way to say that? Anyways, I hope everyone's having a great day. Thanks for watching. Peace.